On this episode of the Massive Agent Podcast, we're hearing from an agent who's sold over 2,000 homes in her career. Krista Mashore is stopping by to teach us how we can stand out over our local competitors, specifically and exactly what we should be doing to be unique in our marketplace.
The Massive Agent Podcast, with lead generation tips and strategies to get you more leads and sell more homes.
I love to buy houses. I like to sell houses.
It takes brass balls to sell real estate.
Wait a minute.
The leads are weak. You're weak.
I've had better.
Oh, have I got your attention now?
Here's your host, Dustin Brohm.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to episode 110 of the Massive Agent Podcast. We have such an awesome guest today, Krista Mashore, host of the Fired Up podcast. She's top 1% of real estate agents nationwide. She's sold over 2,000 homes, and she has an amazing coaching program, great speaker, great personality, and she knows what the hell she's talking about. Above everything else, she knows what it takes. She knows how to sell thousands of homes, and she's going to teach us how specifically we can stand out. She makes a big deal in this interview, as you'll hear soon, about being different. Okay, people need to notice you. If you just blend in with the rest of the agents in your area, do you think you're going to have a thriving career? Do you think you're ever going to attract new business? Of course not. You have to do something to stand out and be unique. So Krista's going to share exactly how to do that, how she's done it, and as you'll hear, she's won in a very, very big way. Welcome to the show, guys. If you're brand new to the Massive Agent Podcast, welcome. This is an Industry Syndicate production. We are a proud founding member of the Industry Syndicate Media Network. Guys, if you're looking for the best podcasts in the real estate industry, mortgage industry, for appraisers, for real estate investors, anything housing related, you need to go check out the Industry Syndicate Podcast Network. We have a free app where you can discover all these shows. You can join the communities of the show hosts. You can meet new people, discover new shows, listen to the podcast within the app. Just go to the App Store or Google Play, type in Industry Syndicate, and get the app. It's 100% free. It's even 1,000% free, and all you have to do is go get it. So do that. If you haven't done that yet, pause the frickin' podcast. Actually, you don't need to pause it, because if you're listening to it on your phone or wherever else, you can multitask. So just go to the App Store and get the Industry Syndicate app. But we are a proud founding member. My name is Dustin Brohm, your host. I am a co-founder of the Industry Syndicate Podcast Network, national speaker, trainer, and real estate marketing coach. I'm a columnist for Housing Wire. I write an article every Friday afternoon for Housing Wire that you can find over at housingwire.com. My last one, my most recent one, kind of triggered some people because it was the 6 reasons why agents should stop answering their phones. If you follow us on Facebook or LinkedIn, you saw the article posted. Definitely go read that. That's right. Why you should stop answering the phone. I think you'll dig this perspective and get where I'm coming from with that. But I do that for Housing Wire every week, and I am a realtor in Salt Lake City, Utah with eXp Realty. Over the years, if you guys are new to the show, you don't really know my story. I've told my story on plenty of previous shows, but I've been an agent for about 9 years, and the first half-ish of my career, I was doing things that I was told you had to do to be successful in real estate. And because I was new, I didn't know any different. And because I didn't network with any other agents, which is a problem, I didn't know anything other than what my mentor taught me. Now, he and I have very different personalities. And so he loved cold calling and reading scripts and door knocking and doing some direct mail stuff, some social media stuff for sure. But I never dug it. I hated it, actually. I hated cold calling. I hated door knocking. And like anyone, I had call reluctance. So do you think I thrived as a new agent? Nope, I sucked. So out of necessity, because I guess I was too stubborn to quit in hindsight, which is awesome. I just didn't know what the hell else to do. I went to Google and searched for real estate leads. And it actually brought me to Easy Agent Pro's website. They were doing a lot of content marketing to get other agents to see their websites and what was so great about them. But they did that not by talking about, hey, look at this great website. It has this feature and this feature and this feature. It was, here's 5 things that you should say in your next listing presentation, or 10 Facebook posts that you should schedule, stuff like that I'm like, oh, cool, this is awesome. And so that taught me right then and there about content marketing. By creating valuable content, it attracted me to content marketing. And once I started creating all this content and I launched a website, I realized pretty quick, I have to learn how to promote the content. Creating great stuff, creating a great video, writing a great article, doing a great Instagram story, a great podcast is only step one. You have to get people to listen to it or watch it or read it. You have to get them to know it exists. And through that, I discovered the Facebook advertising platform. Facebook ads are the most powerful way to get your message amplified and to get in front of new people. There's no better value. There's no easier way. There's no more user-friendly way. Now you have to learn how to do it the right way, of course. But I learned very quickly that I need to master this platform. And so I spent at least a year trial and error, spending well over 10 grand on testing Facebook ads and watching YouTube videos and reading articles, because I kept telling myself I didn't have the money to hire a coach or take a course. Long story short, the reason I say all that is back then I wish that something existed where I could have a coach to hold my hand and be available to answer questions if I ran into issues along the way, or if I needed to improve an ad campaign, or maybe I just didn't even know a certain concept existed. I just knew I wanted to accomplish a certain thing and they could help guide me. I wanted a coach, but I didn't want to spend, $1,500 a month for one of Tom Ferry's people. Of course, you don't get him, you get one of his people. And I didn't even take a course. So I created that course and that coaching program all in one. So it's part online course, part database where you can copy and paste Facebook ads, and then have an ongoing coach to help you through what happens if your Facebook ad gets denied. How do you make it better if it's not working so well? How do you improve it? How do you accomplish A, B, or C? So we built it. It's called the Massive Agent Society, and we are doing something special today only. Okay, I'm rewarding those of you guys who subscribe and listen regularly. So today, literally just today, today is what is this? January 30th, 2020, the first day that this show comes out. Only for today, Massive Agent Society is 50% off, whether you're monthly, annual, or lifetime members. I will tell you more about that in a minute. If you already know about it and you've been waiting for the right time, today is. And to get the deal, if you're like, oh my God, I'm listening on January 20th, thank God, because I subscribed to the podcast, so I better do that. If you want to take advantage, you just want me to shut up and give you the discount code. Okay, discount code today. Just go to massiveagentsociety.com. Make sure your market is available still, because we only allow one agent per market. We want you to be able to speak freely and not have any competitors seeing what you're doing or running the same ads that we give you to run. So you'll be able to claim your market exclusively. Check that first. If your market's still available, plug in discount code today, and then you will get 50% off, even for a lifetime membership, and claim your market forever. If you want to just do it on an annual basis, that's 50% off. Monthly, 50% off. Use discount code today. Okay, let's get into the interview. Well, first, before we get to Krista, because guys, I hope you're ready to take notes. Krista has such amazing energy. If you've ever listened to Krista Mashore's Fired Up podcast, you know what I'm talking about. But she's definitely one of the coaches or one of the real estate personalities out there who walks the walk. She's becoming a great coach and a great podcaster and a great personality because she's done the things. She's done them. She's not just speaking about what you could potentially do in theory, like a lot of the marketers that you hear out there. So get ready for that. And while you prepare yourself mentally, I wanted to give a shout out to the review of the week. So it helps us out tremendously. If you guys get any value from the show, if you leave us a review on whichever platform you listen. Apple Podcasts is the main platform people listen. So I'm going to give a quick shout out to our most recent review. We've got, let's see, so there's a couple since I looked last. Tina Nana Ann says, only one. Best real estate content in the podcast space. I was suffering from analysis paralysis from the other half-assed content. So once I subscribed to Dustin's show, I decided if I'm going to move forward in a meaningful way, I was going to do so with his content. Thank you, Dustin. No, thank you, Tina, Nana, and guys, thank you so much for leaving the reviews. It takes so much time and effort and mental energy for me to do this show, 110 straight episodes. We don't charge you to listen. And so if you receive any value, if you like this show, we ask two things, okay? Share this episode, the podcast, or one specific episode, your favorite episode. Share it with one other agent. Share it with your lender. Share it with someone in the industry. Share it in a local a Facebook group for other agents that you're a part of. Share it and help us to reach other people. That helps us out tremendously. And when you do, ask them to subscribe to the show. Subscribing, if you guys have a podcast or you're thinking about doing one, you need to get people to subscribe. Not only is it better for them because then a new show, they get a notification every time you release a new show. They don't have to remember, oh, Thursday morning, I better go listen to Massive Agent Podcast. They get a notification because we're all busy. We need to be reminded of things. So ask them to subscribe. That also tells the Apple Podcast platform that the show's in demand. And if a certain number of people do it within a 48-hour period, we jump way up into the charts. This show has been as high as number 16 in the iTunes, or sorry, the Apple Podcast Top 200. How crazy is that? This has been a top 20 show in the marketing category before. So we'd like to get up into the top 10, even hit number 1. Why the hell not? But we need your subscriptions. So leaving reviews, if you haven't, please go to massiveagentpodcast.com/review. Takes you right to leave a review on Apple Podcasts. Please do that. It helps us out tremendously. And then asking people to subscribe and sharing it, we can absolutely make it into the top 5 podcasts out there with your help. So thank you very much. Guys, let us get into the interview with Krista Mashore. But remember today only. Use discount code today, massiveagentsociety.com. Only January 30th, 2020. Discount code today. All right, let's get into it with Krista Mashore, best-selling author, Fired Up podcast host, the founder of 3clientsin30.com, and an incredible top-producing real estate agent. Let's do it. What's up, guys? I am here with Krista Mashore, the best-selling author and host of the Fired Up podcast, and she was just telling me how she sold over 2,000 homes in her career, which is amazing. So she knows what she's talking about, and so it's definitely a treat to have her on the Massive Agent podcast today. Krista, welcome to the show.
Hi, Dustin. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. I'm excited to be here.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you coming on and sharing your story. Obviously, you've done something that's worked, or many things that's worked, because you've been a very successful agent. You're top 1% of agents. I mean, being the top 10% of anything's impressive as hell. But you've definitely done some things that have worked. A lot of people who listen to this show are kind of looking for a breakthrough to help them to jump up a level or to get unstuck, and they're trying to make it work. So let's jump back. Well, first off, but before I jump into the first question, give us a quick 60-second bio. Who are you, above and beyond what we've already discussed? Who are you? And then we'll jump into your first year as an agent. I want to know all about that.
Okay, so my first year as an agent, I used to be a teacher. I taught 3rd grade for 6 years. I've got a master's degree in curriculum and instruction, so teaching is kind of like my love. My daughter got really, really sick, and they told me that she should be expected to have some really bad difficulties. And so I left my full-time teaching job and to be a stay-at-home mom, and ended up getting my real estate license because I wanted to just sort of play real estate, I thought. Really quickly around when that happened, I ended up finding out that my husband was having an affair, and we bought a new house, and he just, all of a sudden, bank accounts were drained and my husband was gone. And so I had to turn into a full-time agent.
So this was in your first year as an agent. You were doing it part-time, and then all that shit happened.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Yes. So I went from thinking I was just going to be a play agent into selling 69 homes my first year.
Oh, that's awesome. So was all of that, all the personal life crap, was that kind of the catalyst? Do you think that you would have been that successful otherwise?
I'm pretty successful at anything I put my mind to. That's just who I am. I mean, I don't ever give up. And but
Fair enough.
Definitely was not planning on I was planning on staying home, not
Right.
doing that. It was my daughters, the desire to keep them in their home. Like I said, we just bought a brand new home. My desire to keep them in their home, to keep them safe and secure, to fill that backyard with a pool and a big playhouse is what my drive was. So my why was very much the reason for my success.
I love that. I respect that. During your first year, were there any points that you really second guessed doing this for a living? Were there any points where you're like, oh my God, this is not worth it, or I can't do this? I mean, because I think that's fairly normal.
Oh yeah, I mean, totally. It was hard. I mean, I was working. I didn't have my daughters, I was working like 18 hours a day. I mean, I'm not even kidding you. I was just so on a mission to take care of us, and it was difficult. I mean, I lost like 30 pounds. I was under 100 pounds at that point.
Wow.
I was very, my family was shattered. So I was very depressed, but on the outside, no one knew it, right? Like I showed up every day like a warrior. But on the inside, I mean, I was falling apart. So everybody's got problems and issues, but we have to learn how do you get past them? How do you keep pushing through? And again, having a really strong reason, a really strong desire behind why it is that you want what you want will help you push through anything and everything.
What are some of the things you've done to remind yourself of that goal and that drive and that why?
As far as now?
Yeah, because it's one thing to just have a why today. It's another thing to continue it for 5, 10, 20 years and have it burn as strong or stronger. What are some of the things you've done to stay on target?
You know, educating myself is huge. When you see that kind of, once you know that you can do it, like success breeds success, right? Once you start winning, the mind says, okay, I can do this. And then you kind of start to like the success, right? So I really became from a zero, no one knowing me in my community, to like everyone not being able not to notice who I was, because I really did things differently. And that is what I would suggest any new agent doing, is figuring out what everyone is doing and doing something different. Give me just 1 second, my dog.
You got it.
Figuring out, sorry about that.
No problem.
What everyone else is doing and trying to do something different. So let me give you an idea of what that looked like 19 years ago, okay? And you have to be willing to invest. And I have to say this is so important, is that so many real estate agents get into the business and they think that it's just going to happen. And yes, you can make really great money doing minimal and not investing, but you can make more money than doctors and attorneys and lawyers and nurses and psychiatrists if you actually invest in your business, if you invest in learning the skills and strategies to be able to be the best, right? So one thing that I did was I took a lot of education. I went and educated myself. When people were doing black and white flyers, I was doing 4-page color brochures. I was sticking little CDs on the signs in a little package with 50 pictures instead of just a couple. I was marketing my properties on the television. I mean, I was doing things that nobody else was doing, right? So very quickly, I became known as like this mass marketer. And, you know, then I sold, you know, I don't know, I can't remember the exact numbers, but I mean, I've pretty much sold almost over 100 homes almost every year. My best year in the business was 169 homes. And that was just me and an assistant and a marketer. It wasn't me and a big team. And people always say, oh, well, you've got a big team. And it's like, no, it was me. I was the only licensed person. And I did an amazing job. I still went to every inspection. I reviewed the reports. I went over the contracts. I showed up at closing. I mean, that has been the kind of agent I've always been. But you've got to be different. So whatever everyone else is doing, look on how you can do it differently or how you can enhance what they're doing to do it better.
Right. I think that a lot of agents, I know the first half of my career, I had heard that advice. You got to be different. You have to stand out. I interpreted that as you have to do something that literally no one's ever seen before. Like it has to be so revolutionary and disruptive that you're like inventing things. Like I think that's how I interpreted it. But no, it's just you do something other people are doing. Do it your way. That's different. Just your unique voice is different. You went above and beyond and improved upon those things or those strategies. That's different. I think we overthink. We overthink and overcomplicate what being different and standing out actually means. So was that at the beginning of the career? And like, what have you been doing over the last 5 years or so, since social media, online marketing, everything else has really just become standard? What new things are you doing to stand out?
Okay, so digital marketing is my thing. Like I love digital marketing. So I use ClickFunnels and landing pages and, pretty much all that stuff. And video has been my secret weapon. And I know a lot more people are doing video, but most people aren't doing it correctly, right? So number one thing any agent can do, whether they're new or they're medium and they're doing 2 deals a month and they want to do 4, or they're doing 100 deals a month and they want to do 300 a year, right? Like this is really true. And I have students that have done this, is start utilizing video and dominating a certain area. I call it digital location domination. So basically take a neighborhood or take a niche, take a subdivision and be the go-to, know all about anything and everything in that community, in that subdivision. What are the schools like? What are things to do? Where do you go to dinner? Where do you eat? Best place, best dog parks, best trails. I mean, the types of houses, pros and cons to each, why certain ones sell for more and others don't. Like what's active, what's pending, what's coming soon, like knowing everything about a particular area, and then doing video constantly on that area, and then taking it one step further and properly distributing it. So the big issue that most people have is they'll do all this video, or they'll do it and they won't do it consistently because they get busy, or they'll do it and they don't see the results right away, so they stop, right? Mm-hmm. But if you do video, just by posting it on your Facebook page or your Instagram, or just by posting it on your personal page, Facebook is only allowing about 3% of the people to see what you're doing. They're only showing it to people who are already engaging with you.
Right.
You want everyone else to see it. Your goal is to make sure that everyone else in your entire community sees that content. And the only way to do that is to know how to properly utilize those systems. If you can do that, and that's part of what we train actually in my coaching program, is like the whole strategy behind everything, you can quickly dominate your sphere. So, start using video, start getting it out on these platforms the right way. Start doing things like right now, one of the things that we've done is I've written a book called The Savvy Seller. And now that book is on digital. They can go to a landing page for The Savvy Seller. We're actually taking that book and we're distributing that book to like my farms, right? Every single person in my farm is going to get a copy of this book. And yes, it's going to cost me, $7,000 to get the books printed, because there's 60-something hundred homes and 6,000-something hundred homes, and I'm gonna have to pay to have them delivered. But I know that money is going to turn into my goal this year is to do 200 transactions, which will be my best year yet. And this book is going to help me get there. No one else is doing that. No one else is willing to make the investment. No one else is willing to write the book. And this is a book that I've hired a New York Times bestselling editor, and it has all the 19 years of my experience in it. So it's not just some cheesy book that you want to put your name on, that you should never put your name on if it's not good, right? Don't ever do that if it's not awesome, because it will hurt you more than help you.
Right.
But I've invested time in it. And so now I'm going to show my expertise and share my knowledge with my community. And that's going to be like, that's never happened. I've never seen anyone do that, right? You've got to be willing to do things no one else is.
Well, that goes back to what you were saying. You made a decision early on that you're going to invest. That's one of those big investments. And I see, I'm thinking of some of the bigger teams here, the bigger agents here in Salt Lake, and the ones that you think of, that even us agents have top of mind. Yeah. They advertise on the radio, and they advertise in the outfield of the high school baseball game, and they advertise on Facebook ads, and banner ads on Google. They're freaking everywhere.
Yes.
And postcards in the mail, they're everywhere. And radio's not cheap. Just like writing a book, I'm sure that was extremely expensive. But you're right. You're making a big investment to have it pay off 10x later on. Mm-hmm. One of the biggest takeaways I got from, I can't even believe I'm going to quote him. I'm not a big Grant Cardone fan, but his 10x book, the biggest takeaway that I think is just gold is he would just wanted to carpet bomb the internet with him and his brand and be everywhere at all times. And that's what you're doing. And it takes an investment of time and effort and money to do it. And it pays off. Are you seeing a noticeable snowballing of the efforts you've made over the last, how many years? Do you say 19?
Yeah.
Over the last 19 years, stuff that you did 16 years ago, are you seeing that that's now like compounding and people are noticing you? They've seen you 7 years ago and then today they're ready to sell. Like, are you noticing that snowballing effect?
We do things really different. Like, so for one of the things that we do is we run ads like, what's your home worth? And we don't call them that. We name them something different, but everyone knows what that is, right?
Yeah.
And we've been doing this for a long time. And when people do this, we don't just give them a digital copy. We actually hand deliver a custom home evaluation to their house.
Nice.
And then we put them on every 6 months for them to get a new one. We follow that by a handwritten card. We send them postcards of homes in the neighborhood we've sold before, and they go on this whole workflow. I have people I'll show up in their house and they've got a stack this high, or they've got one or two, and they say, Krista, we got these 3 years ago and we never, we were just thinking about our price and you gave this to us and now I'm in their front door, right? From 3 years ago. So absolutely all of the little things matter. And, there's a stat that, and only 87% of agents after 5 years leave the business. And that's because number one, they're not willing to invest. They're not willing to learn the strategies and the skills to actually really, truly make it in the business. And they don't give it the time that it takes to actually, they do something 1 or 2 times, they don't see the results, and then they stop, right? And it's just so sad because, we make amazing money, before I left coaching, I think I did about 1.8 million in real estate sales, right? I sold 154 homes that year. It was 2 years ago. That's amazing money. Most doctors and attorneys, they don't make anywhere near that, but
right.
It's, you know what I'm saying? And so you can make such good money, but you have to be willing. Like, I've always had coaches. I've had digital marketing coaches, Facebook specialist coaches. I've traveled the country. I remember my dad telling me one time, why are you traveling again? Like, you're already in the top 1% in the nation. And I said, Dad, that's why I'm in the top 1%, because I'm willing to educate myself,
Yes, that's a good soundbite right there. I'm gonna have to mark that one down for a promo of the show, because you're right. Like, it's not that you want to be there. That's why you're there. That's why you're one of the top producers out there. What's one of the biggest mistakes you've made along the way?
This is a great question because I just made one recently. So
perfect.
A big one. I made $1 million mistake. Everyone listening, this is $1 million mistake. So now that I'm coaching, and we have the strategy so basically I've been a coach for 2 years now. We've done $7.2 million in coaching in 26 months. From the exact, those are my 2 combo clubs, from my exact same strategy that I use in real estate. Okay. It's producing a lot of content, being that serving, not selling, just being that go-to lead expert authority in real estate. Now the expert authority in coaching, right? To let realtors. And then just giving them value before I ever ask for anything in return. Well, in my real estate business, because I was so heavily focused on my coaching for the past 2 years, we've had some changes, and I was like, why has my production gone down? Well, I knew it would go down a little bit because I'm not there. I've spent about 5% of my time now in real estate, 95% of my time in coaching, okay? And so last year we sold 78 homes, which is still good. But for me, when I'm used to selling 154, 160, that's a huge $1 million loss, right?
Right.
So I started diving into what happened. And what happened was this. When I made the change and my eye was not on the prize in my real estate company, I realized that I was creating all these video content, and yet my marketing person was putting the content out the regular way. They were just posting it on my Facebook page, posting it on but they were not running any ads behind it. So nobody was seeing any of those videos for the past 12 months. I also realized that they were no longer doing my farming. They were no longer sending to my specific areas postcards of, the comparables, active pendings and solds. And so I was showing up not only on Facebook, but in their mailbox. So just those 2 activities alone that we quit doing cost me $1 million. I went from doing 154 homes to 101 homes to only 78. So in a 2-year time frame, it was cut in half because those activities were no longer being done.
That's crazy. And it makes sense because the name of the game is to stay in front of people who already know you and to keep growing. How many people are there? Like, how many people know you? And if it's just the same group and you don't get any new people in there, eventually, it diminishes.
Yeah.
So That's crazy.
The amount of referrals that you get. So when you start to, so we have, and I'm not kidding you. This is really cool. I got to tell you this. So I'm actually launching a new program where we teach people how to be an author of their own book, right? Within 24 days, because when you're an author, it shows authority of instant credibility. It's like you can be a brand new agent if you've got a really high quality, well-written book, then you can crush it, right? Because it shows that you're an expert. So absolutely. I was looking at the stats. I was asking some of my people. So this right here is one of my clients, Julie. So 17 years, and she usually does between 20 and 25 deals, okay? After being in the program for 12 months, she increased her transactions individually to 47, okay? And her team did 62. So in 12, and she lost 56 pounds. That's one thing.
Nice.
Then we have Leslie Bennett. 2 deals in 2017, okay? 2018, 26 deals, and 2019, 61 deals. So she went from 2 deals to 61 deals in 20 months. And we've got Erica. So Erica has been in the program for 11 months. She typically does 40 transactions. She did 70 transactions, and she increased her gross commission for her average sales price from $400,000 to $700,000. Now, some of you are saying, well, that's for, what about top producers? Alicia Collins came into the program and she closed 105 deals that year. She went from 105 to, what is it here?
And what's the main tenet of your program? Is it just jumping your credibility up as an author?
So no. So listen. So she went from 105 to 201 in 2018 to 293 in 2019. I mean, that is amazing. 105 to 293 in
that is amazing.
20 months. It's insane. So the idea is this. It's that you are seen everywhere. Anybody thinks anything real estate, they think you. They see your videos and but again, you're properly distributing so that you show up. Like our average, on our videos that we run, our average watch time is between like 350 and 555 hours per video. So the people are actually seeing it. I mean, imagine running a video and having 555 hours of somebody watching that video. It's like, that's a lot of watch time, right?
Right.
And that's
do you do it mostly do you do YouTube ads as well, or just Facebook, or both?
Mostly just Facebook. We're now expanding to YouTube as well. So that set I'm telling you is just from Facebook alone. But now we also are we're more heavily on Instagram and more heavily on YouTube, because we do something called video repurposing, where you create one video and then it goes to the long form post goes on Facebook, and then you run an ad behind it. Then the video goes onto YouTube, and that gives you search engine optimization for Google, right? And then it goes onto your website, which also gives you SEO. So we take that video, we just repurpose it. And then after time, the momentum of it goes crazy. You start to see referrals. Like we've had people say that, just within a 6-month period, their referrals have increased 4 times because people cannot forget you. And we think that our clients love us and they're going to refer us, but when they aren't reminded because they don't see you, they forget you. But the idea is never, you know what I mean? Never to be forgotten, Dustin. Right. That's the goal.
And I'm sure, so you're obviously a big proponent of retargeting then and custom audiences on Facebook. Yep.
Absolutely.
Because
we retarget everybody.
Yes. It's such a big deal when people feel like you are everywhere, even though it's just their personal feeds and their digital ecosystem. You are everywhere, but they naturally think that everyone sees the same thing, that everyone's also seeing these. And so they're like, well, I've got to hire Krista because she's everywhere. She's the one. And every agent can do that at a local level just by learning some of these tactics. The Facebook ads platform is so incredibly powerful, and it's sad when people only focus on capturing leads. They're like, I just want to run for leads.
So this is the reason why 87% of agents will not be in the business after 5 years, and here's why. There are 6 phases to the sales cycle, and most agents are only worried about one. They want leads, right? So first of all, you have to market. Marketing is the first step, marketing. And I don't just mean your business card and your colors. I mean truly marketing to your community. Then once you market, then you can generate a lead, right? You get leads from marketing. That's the second phase. That's the easiest phase. We can teach people how to get hundreds of leads. Simple, simple, simple. But we know, according to the National Association of Realtors, that the average buyer, they say 3 to 6 months. I say BS, it's probably more closer to like 2 years, to be honest. So it takes time to nurture these people. The third phase is nurture, right? So marketing, lead generation, nurturing. Nurturing means that you're staying top of mind awareness. You're giving them items of value. They're seeing you on your ads. They're seeing your videos. They're being informed. You're the go-to expert. Once the lead is nurtured, then the fourth phase is conversion, right? You are much more likely to convert that lead because you've properly marketed, you've got the lead, you've nurtured the lead, right? And now you're going to convert that lead. And because you've made a connection with them, whether or not you understand this or not, you're always making a connection with people when you're marketing to them. When they're seeing your videos, it's called a parasocial relationship. We've been taught that when we see somebody on the other side of a screen or a TV or a phone, they're doing a video, that they're the authority figure. It's like when we watch, you know what I'm saying? Like when we watch TV, we love our actors and we think we know them and we want to fight for them. Well, these people are developing a relationship with you and seeing you as the expert. So now when you pick up that phone, they're like, is it Krista Mashore? Oh my God, thank you for calling. They want to talk to you because they have already developed a relationship with you. They know you, they like you, they trust you, right? Because they've been seeing you.
You become a local celebrity, a local influencer, and who doesn't want to work with them?
It's so embarrassing. I was at the gym this morning. This is a true story. And this happens all the time. And it's I look like total hot mess. Okay. I don't go to the gym looking pretty. I'm just like pretty gross. And this guy goes, hey, I got your flyer in the mail. And then I was like, oh my God, I know her. She's like a celebrity. He's like, and I was going, oh, funny.
Oh my God.
They really, and I get that like all the time. It's pretty embarrassing. So now remember, so again, marketing, lead generation, lead nurture, conversion. Then once you've gotten that lead, you've converted them, you need to give them fulfillment and delivery. The best process ever. How do you make sure that you knock their socks off? You treat them right. You treat them like, they're the best thing since sliced bread. You've got to have great systems and processes in order, right? You have great systems and processes. You can work less, but give more by doing that. So that's another part of the sales cycle. And then lastly, refer, retain, and resell. How do we make sure that we retain them as a client, they resell with us, and they refer us? We do that, again, by consistently producing content, because then you're more likely to make a connection, which means that you're going to convert. And if you keep this cycle going over and over, you will continue to stay busy.
Yep. Oh, go ahead.
No, it's just like so many people they're only taught one part of it and they don't understand how to make sure that they do all these little pieces. And it's not difficult once you have the proper training, have the right systems. And then before you know it, you're no longer like, I don't do open houses. I don't cold call. I don't door knock. I mean, I do not do open houses. My Saturdays I spend cuddling with my husband in the bed, making donuts for my husband and my kids, not for people at open houses. Like, I choose to spend my time differently. And I don't think it's the best use of your time. I know they work, but I would rather create content that I have, 190,000 people seeing, and just for one video or one ad, right? 500 hours of watch time. That to me is much more. I mean, if I could show you how much watch time we have, I would be doing open houses every day, 5 open houses a day for the rest of my life to get the kind of, reach that we're getting.
Exactly. I could not agree with you more. You're preaching to the choir. And once it's again, back to compounding. Once you start to create the content and you develop the system and you learn Facebook ads, how the ads manager works, how to set up a retargeting campaign, what to put in it, like, you're not doing that all day, every day. A lot of this stuff you set up, and then you're just taking care of the results that come out the other end and monitoring to make sure that, results don't diminish and making tweaks here or there. So it's not like you're doing all of this and then all this other stuff. Like, you create a system. Like you said, you create a system I love how you talked about leads being step 2, it's 2 out of 7.
Yes.
Yeah. I talk about how getting a lead, I like the analogy that getting a lead is like you're playing football, catching the football is getting the lead. Now you have to dodge tackles, other agents that are trying to get their attention. Like, you have to run and score with it now. And then that's just one possession of the game. There's a long process to that. Getting the lead is just the beginning. And so You're right. I think that is a huge reason why so many agents fail is they don't understand that getting a lead is just starting a conversation. Now there's all this to it. And so many people ignore their database after closings too.
Completely. And we still do things like we still do a client appreciation party. We still do a pie party. We still do things in the community on top of all of that. But it's impossible for anybody to forget about me. But remember, because I wasn't doing this, the strategy that I'm telling you, because my eye wasn't on the prize. I thought my team was doing it and they weren't, my business went more than in half, right? And I lost $1 million. That just shows you by doing this the right way, just how effective it can be. I mean, it's so effective when you do it and you do it consistently. And think about this, when you want to talk to these leads, when they start seeing you everywhere and they know you, they're more likely to call you back. They're more likely to answer. They're more likely to want to work with you. So it works so well. And then you accompany that with, having like the most amazing listing presentation that it just like absolutely shows why they should work with you, because you are so different than everybody else. And you can show that by your numbers and say, hey, look, you see these listings? They get 130,000 people watching them, and we get 7,000 people clicking and commenting and sharing, and we have 550 hours of watch time. When you walk into a listing presentation and you can show numbers like that, it's easy. You don't have to reduce your commission. They want to pay you. I just went on a listing presentation yesterday, which is the first one I've gone in a long time, because I work with the guy at the gym. His name is MJ. I love him. And he said, Krista, we love you and we see everything that you've done, and you've dropped out this beautiful marketing plan. You gave us this video. You showed us your book. Like, we're just afraid we can't afford you. I mean, how much are you? And I'm like, no, we're not, we give you extra service, extra value, but we're standard commission. We charge what everyone else does. And he was like, okay, great. So the biggest people are afraid that because you do so well, you're going to charge them like crazy, but he didn't balk. Okay, no problem. Here we go. Sign here.
I love that. My life completely changed. My career completely changed once I switched from chasing people down and trying to convince them to work with me and being one of 4 being interviewed to attracting them. Just like you've done through your content. They think you're a celebrity. They're like, oh my God, I'm getting this packet. I'm getting, every 6 months I'm getting a new market analysis. Like, I don't know if I can afford her. They're now hoping that you will work with them. Attraction marketing is gold, and it works, and it's been proven over and over and over. I just don't think people are willing to put in the work to do it, or they think that it's going to take way too much work, and it takes a lot.
Initially, so here's the deal.
Initially, yes.
Initially, it's a lot of work. It's hard to learn initially. It takes work, but what happens is once the momentum hits, so it's kind of like this. It goes like this, and then it's like this. It's just like this, like this, like this, like then all of a sudden it's this upward tick. And as long as you don't stop doing the things that got you there, you will continue to just go up. I mean, look at the numbers I just gave. That's just a few students. I mean, how do you go from 105 to 293? That's not, how do you go
luck.
2 to 61? How do you go, how do you increase your sales price from 400 to 700? That's not luck. It's a strategy, and it's a system, and it's giving it the time it takes to get there, right? We have another guy that's doing about the same amount of business, but he used to cold call like 3-4 hours every single day, cold call. He's completely stopped cold calling. His referrals have increased, he said, 4 times, and now he's doing the same amount of business, never having to be on the phone. Right? Because he realized that's like being on the phone is this hamster wheel. As soon as you stop doing it, all your business goes away.
1,000%. You are preaching to the choir. I love it. For someone who's new and they're trying to figure out what path to go down. So anyone listening to my show, they get a lot of different ideas. And I know that can potentially be a negative where it causes analysis paralysis. And people think that they have to do everything, so then they do nothing. So I'm aware that's an issue with some people. I've had that issue myself because I'm a marketer at heart. I want to do everything. Every little tactic.
We're entrepreneurs, man. We're like, I can do 50 things at once. And then, I'm the same.
Yes. And it's good to move towards that as a goal once you build the bandwidth to do it, but you've got to start somewhere. So I always tell people, or I ask them rather, what do you like doing? Do you like talking? Do you like being on video? Do you like writing? Whatever it is, there's a type of content or a medium for you. What do you like doing and what are you good at? Because if you hate doing it, even if you're good at it, if you hate doing it, you're never going to do it long enough to see that success, to see that hockey stick upwards that you were talking about. So what's some advice that you can give to someone who's kind of right there? They have all these ideas and they're a little bit overwhelmed by all of them. And now you're talking about authoring a book and all this, and they're like, oh my God, what should I do? What do you recommend to those people?
Okay, so first of all, I will tell you that the quickest way to start attracting business and stop chasing it is by using video. Okay, video text messages. We tell our, I know you said I can promote something. So we have this, it's a really affordable 2-week training. It's called 3clientsin30.com. So the number 3 clients, in30.com. Again, the number 3, so 3clientsin30.com.
I'll put that in the show notes too.
Perfect. We teach people, they're in a group setting. So for 2 weeks, they get individual coaching, group coaching with me. Okay. And we give them a strategies, one little thing to do each day, just to kind of add. It's a 15-day challenge. On average, out of the over 1,000 people that we've had go through the program, the average agent picks up 2 clients. Now, some pick up 0. We've had several pick up like 6 within this training, saying that it's all from what we've taught them, right? Even if you don't like doing video, I know that I talk to 100 people and 98 of them will tell me I hate video. But I will tell you this, anybody can be comfortable doing anything. And that is the fastest way for you to gain authority, to break down people's barriers, to be seen as the expert. We've had a lady that she won the best realtor in her town. She had never sold a house before. Swear to God, she was in the program. She got voted best realtor and she hadn't yet sold a house. We were cracking up because she was just that authority figure, right?
That's amazing.
It is amazing. Like everyone knows, you can talk about your community. You can talk about contracts, contingencies, buyer tips, seller tips, right? And you talked about leads. I'm totally getting off on a tangent, but my point
tangents are okay. The people who listen to this show, they expect a tangent or two. The squirrel moments is what they're.
I'm veering, squirrel, but they can learn it, and you don't have to be. I'm a total extrovert. Yeah, I'm totally extroverted, right? But you don't have to be. You can be an introvert and be super enthusiastic about something. You can be an introvert and still attract those type of people. You don't have to be like me. You don't have to be like you. You can be you, and you're going to attract.
I'm an introvert.
Are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're going to attract your people, right?
Yeah.
And we can teach you how to do video. We can teach anybody. It's the quickest way for you to be seen as the expert, whether you're brand new in the industry, whether you're mediocre, or whether you're a top producer and want to do like Alicia did, right? It is the quickest way to dominate your field. It's how I became known as the coach. I mean, why am I on this podcast right now? Because you saw me on another podcast. Maybe you read my book, Sell 100 Homes, whatever it is.
I've seen your Facebook ads, video Facebook ads. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it recognized your face and your name from them, of course.
And that's nationally. So imagine how easy it is to do it locally. It's like you can dominate so much easier locally and just start taking over.
Exactly. And you don't have to be, most people, I really think most agents don't need to be the number one agent in their market to be happy as hell. They just want to get to a certain level of production, a certain income, certain lifestyle, and then continue it and systemize it. And so you don't need to sell 1,000 homes in a year to do that. Yeah, so just take your piece.
How much would one more home a month mean to people listening? So for me,
right,
one home a month, the average commission is about $12,000. It's $144,000 more dollars a year. How much? So you ask yourself that question if you're listening to this. If your average sales price is $5,000, one home a month is $60,000 more dollars a year. What would $60,000 more dollars a year? It'd be paying off your car, sending your kids to college, paying down your mortgage, getting to go on vacation, right? Not being so stressed out, having less anxiety. I mean, it's amazing. It's crazy to me to think about how if you have more tools in your toolbox, you're going to have more opportunities, right? And think about for every opportunity that you're missing, what it's costing you. Right. One opportunity, right? They say if you have one transaction, it should turn out to 8 to 10 over the lifetime of your career. So just by not having these tools in your toolbox, not being willing to invest in how to learn to do them because you don't want to take a loan out or you don't want to have any debt. Well, here's what I tell people. There is difference between good debt and bad debt. I was in a foster home. I was in juvenile hall. I was in a group home. Okay. I got out of that foster home, and I was like on my own. And I had to go out and I had to take a huge, massive debt to put myself through college. It was the best thing that I ever did because it was able to allow me to become a teacher, and now to become a teacher again. At the time, it wasn't fun, but when you invest in yourself, that is investing in an asset. As Robert Kiyosaki would say, rich dad, poor dad. Rich people, they invest in assets, right? Training programs, education. They'll take out a loan to better themselves because they know they need to learn the skill to make the money. It's not the other way around. It's not, I need the money first. No, you've got to have the skill to make the money. Yes. Poor people buy liabilities. They buy cars and vacations and things they can't afford. They'll go out to a $200 dinner, but that's a liability, right? That's not a smart investment. But investing in yourself to learn. Let me give you a good example. And this is again another mistake that I made. Is that when I wanted to be coaching, so my first desire was like taking care of my kids, right? Dustin, like I want to take care of my kids, keep them safe. Then I was at a point in my career where, I was selling 150 homes a year, 160, 140. It was like, I was crazy busy. Okay. And again, I was just the agent with an assistant and a marketer. So imagine me, I was going on every appointment, every closing. My phone was ringing. I love giving good service. But it got to a point where I was completely burnt out. I was tired, okay? I had awesome systems, but I'm a present agent. Like, I want to be present, okay? So one day I was like, I can't do this anymore. I miss teaching. I miss coaching. I love teaching. So I decided to start coaching. So I hired different coaches, and I hired, number one, the wrong coaches. I didn't invest. I was trying to go cheap. And so I wasted 2 years and money and time and resources hiring the wrong people because I didn't want to make the investment. Finally, I found my right coach, Russell Brunson. I'm in his inner circle. And nice. Russell is the one that helped me go from 0 to 7.28 million in 25 months, 26 months. He helped me do that. Now, had I hired him way before, and I could never have done that on my own. I absolutely needed his skills, his strategy. He's the one that helped me get there. Right. I put in the work, but he knew how to, what funnels to create, how important copy was, how to have a hook, right? How to write my book. I mean, this book is the reason why that I've been able to do that, right? He taught me all that. Mm-hmm.
Yes. I could not agree with you more. I was one of those people who did not hire a coach, did not take a course, and decided I was just going to gut it out and learn it my damn self. Watching YouTube videos, reading articles, and trial and error. And I'm specifically talking about Facebook advertising. I'm a friggin' master of Facebook ads at this point, but I look back at how much money I spent on testing, trial and error, and testing, and how many hours and how many months went by that I was not a master, that I was still learning. And now that I am a coach and have a Facebook ads training program for that reason, I created it because of how I used to think. It in hindsight, it's like, why did I not just borrow the money? Why didn't I just get a credit card and do it? There's people that foolishly do that when they know that they're not really going to do what it is that they're hiring someone to do. That's stupid. But if you're serious, borrow the damn money, do it. Yeah. It shortens the timeline. You're going to spend a hell of a lot less money on trial and error, and you're going to start making money a hell of a lot faster and get out of that hole faster.
And think about how much money we make as agents. My God, you sell one or two houses, it pays for your course. It's a no freaking brainer. It's like,
exactly.
It's this is not to be perverted, but I'm not going to say it, but it's not going to
say whatever you want on this show, Krista.
It's not going to suck itself. Okay. I'm it's not going to suck itself.
I'm glad you said that. That's hilarious.
I'm sorry, but it's not. You've got to learn the skills to get there. And then once you have them, you can fast track. I mean, we've had people 30X their business, their investment, 30X, it's crazy. I get worked up because I'm so passionate about it. As you can see, I believe in it so much because I know that people need help and they're just they're not willing to do it.
Absolutely. And look, this was something that I struggled with when I first launched my program is, are people going to think I'm just self-serving by doing this coaching program? I mean, yes, obviously we do it to make a living and all of that, but we also do it to help others to just fast track what took us longer to do. That's why I started the program. And some people think it's just, or the only reason you're recommending that we hire a coach, or the only reason you're recommending we take a course is because you have one. And I understand the cynicism. I'm cynical like the rest of us in certain ways, but it's actually the opposite. We created these programs, these courses, because we know how important they are.
I eat my own dog food. I have coaches now. I've always had coaches. I believe in it. Absolutely. It works when you do it right. It absolutely works. And I was going to say something else that was kind of good, and then I just lost it. But yeah.
Well, we'll get back to it. No, I love this. I love talking to. Yeah.
I make way more money selling real estate than I do as a coach. It is, even though my programs, they're expensive, right? And you would think you'd think I'm killing it, because you'd think that, doing 7 point whatever million. I'll tell you what, what it costs to run a really good coaching program where you give support and you have live training, and they get me live and they get, training every single day. It's expensive. So initially I'm losing money as a coach, whereas if I just sold real estate, I'd be making, my profits are way, way higher. But I have a vision. My vision is to positively affect every life that I touch, to help create community market leaders across the country who are serving their communities and giving back to the world, right? And I know that eventually it's going to flip to where my coaching is amazing. So, I mean, if people are thinking that we're, selling these programs because we're trying to get rich, we would be selling real estate only. And we're not just coaching because we can't sell. I mean, many coaches coach because they can't sell, or they've never sold, and they're teaching people how to be these agents when they've never ever sold a house on their own. I think what are you doing?
Isn't it crazy?
It's crazy. Go to somebody who's actually in the grind, knows what it's done, experienced it themselves. It just makes no sense to me.
Yeah, and I think people know who are the real valuable coaches and the real valuable courses. They know, because they know the person who created it and the perspective and insight that they have from experience. You obviously have that. I think I have that. There's a lot of other coaches out there that have a shitload of great experience to share, and that's why they created the coaching program. Yes, we get compensated for it, but we should, because it's valuable. And I'm a firm believer too, and I assume you are, what is it? If you pay attention.
Absolutely. Do you know when I first started my training, Dustin, I gave it away for free. So my $10,000 program right now, I gave it away for free in the beginning, and people didn't do it. And so what we find is the more expensive our programs get, the more people will actually work and do it, and the more they see results. So because they're taking it serious.
Yes, I completely agree with that, because that's how it is for me personally. Things that I'm given for free, or that I have access to for free, I tend to blow off, or they're not as high a priority, or I just don't take it as seriously. Something I plop down $300 a month, $1,000 a month, 10 grand once, like something like that, you better believe I'm going to take seriously and do that shit.
$25,000 to spend one day with somebody, 8 hours. Swear to God, 25 grand.
I assume it was worth every dollar, wasn't it?
I don't know if I do that again, because I feel like for 25,
that a little steep?
You just need more help. But I mean, I'm willing to invest in myself. But Russell Brunson's training is 25 grand, and there's no personal coaching. There's no one-on-one time with him. There's no office hours. It's just like you go through the modules, right? And then you have, you get to go twice a year to a live event. But yeah, coaching helps. You take it serious.
I love it. Anyone listening, guys, it doesn't matter if it's my program, Krista's program, any program that resonates with you, do it. Okay. And just go with your gut. If you know it's going to help you, if you know you're going to do the work, do it. If you know you're not, maybe figure something else out. But
think about what people pay to get a degree. To get a degree in college.
Don't even get me started on that, because it's insanity.
80,000, 100,000. Like if you're going to go to Stanford, it's like 200 grand. I mean, so imagine.
And they don't even think twice. They don't even think twice.
Because that's what you do. So, education is amazing, but they're saying that the information age is like a $300 billion industry coming up. And that the true type of education that people should be taking are those that they learn from people who have already done it. The best advice you'll get from Dean Graziosi, Russell Brunson, Tony Robbins is to get Grant Cardone, is to get a coach, get a mentor, but make sure it's from somebody that has done it, that's been in the industry, that knows what you're doing, that's able to achieve something that you have not. So of course you should pay for it. I mean, things just don't come for free. And when they do, like you said, they don't take it serious.
Yeah. And here's another thing too. If you look, when you pay for something, now somebody has a reason to keep coming back and helping you. Like if you just have somebody that's giving you free advice from every now and then, what if you need that advice for two straight years? Well, eventually they're going to be like, I don't have time right now. But if they're being compensated, like, shouldn't you want to be compensating them for their time so they are willing to keep coming back and helping you? It's just, there's a really weird way of thinking of things. And I don't know. I used to think the opposite way, like, well, why is it so much? Why can't it be cheap? Why can't it be free? That's completely the wrong questions. Ultimately, guys, the takeaway from this last part of the conversation that I think is vital, if there's something you want to learn, something you want to do, or certain results you want to have, hire someone who already has them. Hire someone who's already done it and learn how they did it. Follow their instructions, learn how they did it, commit the time, commit the money, and freaking do it.
Commit the work.
Commit the work. Absolutely. Because those are all things that you control. You control whether or not you're going to buy it and invest in it. You control whether or not you're going to do the things. You control that shit. And then you're going to get this, the same or similar or better results than they did. So I love that the conversation kind of went in this direction. I think it's so important. And I just, I don't think I talk enough about the importance of that, because I worry that people think it's self-serving, right?
People are thinking that you're trying to push it on them, but honestly, it's like my a coach tells me, it's your fiduciary duty. It's your moral obligation to be getting the word out there, because I know you know that what you have can help people. I know that what I have can help people, and that's our job. And I would never sell something that I 100% didn't know would help somebody and change somebody's life. Like, I know if they do it, they're going to have, amazing results. And if I didn't know it, I wouldn't be selling it, right? I wouldn't feel right about selling it. And I'd go back to selling real estate.
Right. Exactly. Krista, I love it. Every time we have a guest on, we wrap it up with these rapid fire questions. Either or, you pick one or the other. You don't need to elaborate on it unless you want to, but it gives us a better idea of who you are and what's important to you and the way you see the world.
Oh my gosh.
I hope you're nervous, because these are very hard hitting. Not really. It's like Facebook or Instagram. I'll ask you the rapid fires. Then I'll ask you for the most impactful book you've ever read, an app recommendation for an app that you really love, and then the best piece of advice that you have received. So let's start the rapid fire if you are ready, Krista.
Go, dude.
Facebook or Instagram?
Facebook, because of my target audience and their age.
Love it. Instagram or LinkedIn?
Instagram, but it should be LinkedIn, I think.
LinkedIn's awesome. I've really come to love LinkedIn.
Oh my gosh, I need to start using it more.
Yeah. I wish they had an ad platform as similar to Facebook's. I think they're working on it, but man, that would be game changing.
I know.
Books or podcasts?
Oh gosh, I like them both, but audiobooks. Can I say audiobooks?
Yeah. Well, the next question is podcast or audiobook?
Audiobook. And so then I guess podcast instead of book, audiobook instead of book.
Okay. iPhone or Android?
iPhone, duh.
It's amazing when people say Android. Alexa or Google Home?
Alexa.
Burgers or pizza?
Pizza.
New York or LA?
LA.
Are you a sports fan?
No.
Okay. I'll skip all that crap.
Racing. My husband likes racing. He likes to do it and not watch it. He races.
What kind of racing?
He does like fast cars.
Oh, that's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Mountains or beach?
Oh, beach.
Are we in a real estate bubble nationwide, or is this not a bubble? Is this something different?
Oh, we're not in a bubble. We're going to just see mild, slow, consistent growth. My 2 to 3%, in my opinion, for the next 4 or 5 years. We're not going to. Recession does not mean housing crisis.
Correct.
Recession, completely two different things. The last housing crisis happened because bad loans that were being sold, appraisals not being monitored. Now we are anticipated to see slow, traditional, normal type of growth over the next few years.
Love it. Podcasting or vlogging?
Both, but vlogging.
YouTube or Facebook Live?
Facebook Live.
Uber or Lyft?
Uber.
Gary Vee or Grant Cardone?
Grant Cardone.
Okay. What's the most impactful book you've ever read?
Be Obsessed or Be Average. I'm listening to that right now with Grant Cardone. Be Obsessed or
That's
Be
his
Average.
book?
Yeah, Be Obsessed or Be Average. It's really good.
As much as I dislike Grant Cardone and his personality and his voice, his content's great.
His next book is amazing.
It really is. I've got to give him that. He has great content. What's the most impactful book you've ever read?
Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill.
Oh. And what app recommendation do you have for everybody? Is there an app that you're obsessed with right now?
Zoom. I love Zoom, and Bomb's awesome too.
Nice. And what's the best piece of advice you've received throughout your career or life?
Just be happy. Just like your happiness is a choice. And people always say, why are you so happy and you're so enthusiastic? And I'm like, I choose to be. I have the same things as going on as you do, but I make happiness a choice. And when you choose to be happy and you choose to look at the good side of things, more good stuff comes.
I love it. Krista, where can they find you? Anyone who's just discovering you for the first time, they haven't seen one of your Facebook ads or gotten into one of your amazing funnels, where can they find you?
So you can always go to KristaMashore.com. I wrote the book Sell 100 Homes a Year. So you can find that on Amazon, but I would highly encourage you to go to this is Sell 100 Homes a Year, Krista Mashore. Highly encourage you to go to 3clientsin30.com, 3clientsin30.com. And it's a $100 challenge. You get 2 weeks of coaching with me. We teach you easy things that are not normal and traditional to do. You'll get a really good feeling of me and who I am. And then after that, you'll decide whether or not you want to take it further into, more deep dive into coaching.
Love it. And we'll have links to your website and your programs and your social media in the show notes at massiveagentpodcast.com/episodes. So Krista, thank you so much. This was a really fun conversation. It went in a lot of directions I wasn't expecting, but I'm really glad we did. Great shit. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, Dustin. I appreciate it. And keep doing what you're doing. It's awesome.
Thank you. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Isn't she just one of your favorite people now within our industry? Krista's awesome. And since recording this, I've actually had the chance before recording this, I don't know how you'd hear me talk about it if it was after recording this, but you get the point. I've had the opportunity to be on her podcast. Not sure when it comes out. Looks like it's at least a few weeks out. But look for that interview because I tell a lot more of my story and how I kind of got to where I'm at and how I did it on her Fired Up podcast. So I'm a big fan of Krista Mashore. She walks the walk, sold over 2,000 homes. Ridiculous. I don't know about you, but I want to sell over 2,000 homes. Wouldn't that be nice? Even over a 50-year period. That's very impressive. Before we sign out and wrap it up and let you guys go your merry way to start doing the things, start implementing on the things that you just learned or that you were just inspired to do, hopefully one of those things was to go to massiveagentsociety.com and claim your market. Look, it's just incredible how powerful Facebook ads are, but it's not something that you can learn on your own unless you're willing to spend thousands and thousands of dollars on trial and error, spend hundreds of hours to learn. You can just shorten the learning curve. So we give you from day one, okay, you join the Massive Agent Society, you go through the online checkout, you claim your market, and you're the only agent who can get referrals from our other members in our private Facebook group. You're the only member who has access to the ads that we give you. You can copy and paste an ad today. So you can have a Facebook ad that's proven to work running by tonight and start getting leads tonight. We give you the emails to follow up with. We tell you where to put them, how often you should send them. Should it be a text or an email? What should it say? All of that stuff. We give you the email follow-up. We tell you, my favorite CRMs that I recommend. We tell you the website providers that you can use to deliver lists of homes for certain Facebook ads. We give it all to you. And so we take that learning curve required and we shorten it to the shortest amount possible. We've seen people getting actual listings and clients in their first 30 days of being a Massive Agent Society member. Now, I want to set the proper expectations too. I want to be honest with you. It's not that common that you get an actual client in the first 30 days. But in the first few months, of course. See, it's a numbers game. Just like anything else, you need to have, you're getting at-bats. You're getting chances at conversations. Now, there's certain things you can do to increase the likelihood that someone responds to you, or that a lead will text you back, or that when you speak with them, that they'll be willing to do whatever it is you want them to do. There's a lot of variables here, but getting more at-bats is key, and it's a numbers game. So if you get 50 or 100 leads your first month, that's fantastic. Then maybe a couple of them lead to meetings, lead to appointments, and then one of them leads to a client. Well, if you're spending $300 or so on Facebook ads for the month, okay, plus let's say you do the most expensive Massive Agent Society membership option, you're doing the monthly, it's $300, or today, January 30th, if you use discount code today, it's only $150 a month moving forward every month. Why am I doing that? I'm kind of regretting it now, but I don't want to re-record. And I want you guys who have not joined yet and I want to give you a chance. And I want to reward those who have subscribed to the show. It's a big deal. So, yes, we'll keep doing it, even though I'm strangely having a change of heart. And I've also lost my train of thought. See, this is a squirrel moment. Completely lost my train of thought. I'm going to keep rambling until I come back to it. And I think we're back. You could be up and running by tonight with getting leads, okay? Getting and implementing the system for following up with them. Then it just becomes a numbers game. And 3 months in, you should have some clients, okay? And if you're spending $300 on, let's say you're paying full price, the most expensive membership option, $300 a month, then you're spending $300 a month on Facebook ads, you're spending $600 a month. Okay, and maybe with a CR, if you're getting a new CRM, a new website, a new whatever, let's round up to $700 a month. Hell, let's round up to $1,000 a month. You're not going to have to spend that, but let's do, just because it's a round number, you're spending $1,000 a month. You get a client from a Facebook ad month 2, then you get a closing month 4. Okay, I've seen it happen faster. Usually, you really see a steamrolling it at month 6, 7, 8, 9. It takes time. You got to talk to hundreds and hundreds of people, follow up with them over time. Most people don't respond the first time, so you got to have a good follow-up plan. If you guys have ever run ads and done lead generation, you know what I'm talking about. But we show you how to shorten it up. We show you the best way to do it to maximize every dollar you spend and every minute you spend doing it. So let's say month 4, you finally get a closing. You've spent $1,000 per month for each of those 4 months, which again, I think is grossly overestimating your need, but you spend $4,000. So what's your average commission? What's your average commission? Is it $4,000? No, it's probably more. Maybe it's less. I don't know. It depends on your market, of course. But again, ROI is calculated over a certain period of time. So if you look at this over the first year, and month 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, you start getting more and more and more clients, all of a sudden the commission just keeps piling up, okay? You can absolutely get a positive ROI on what we teach you if you do the work and do what we show you to do and ask for help if something isn't working properly, okay? There's another key. If you do those things, you will see a positive ROI. In the first few months, 4 months, 5 months, okay? You will. And over the first year, it will be overwhelmingly ROI positive. But you could also be one of those people, if you choose, to just be like, oh, I hear Facebook ads don't work. So-and-so said they tried them. They don't work. If that's the case, if that's the way you want to look at it and think that there's no other variables, fine. I'm sorry for you. I feel bad for you. Sucks for you. Someone else will just claim your market and take advantage of the platform. Guys, it's not just about leads. Facebook ads are not just for leads. It's if you have videos that you want more people to see. So instead of 200 people seeing a video, you get 20,000. Okay, that's how it works. Very inexpensive to do that. Retargeting with videos, retargeting with articles you've written, posts you've made. Getting leads is just one part of it. So guys, if any of this resonates with you at all, I highly suggest you go claim your market today at massiveagentsociety.com. If you're listening on Thursday, January 30th, use discount code discount code today. If you're hearing this afterwards, even at the full retail price, I promise you will not find a better value in the industry. You will not. Get an annual membership so you don't have to worry about paying each month until you start to get ROI positive. Make the one payment for the year. Do a lifetime, one payment forever. But you have to master your ability to get new clients coming in the door. You have to. Okay? Any business that's going to survive long term has to be able to get new clients in the door. That's exactly what the Facebook ads platform can do for you in a very, very big, very powerful way. It's just on you to learn how to use it properly. The Facebook ads platform is nothing more than a tool, guys. It's nothing more than a tool. Some people use the tool the right way, some don't. You could be one of those who does and uses it very effectively and really become a top producer in your market just by letting the whole community see you over and over and over and over until finally they all hire you. That's what's going to happen if you put in the work and make the investment to do it. Thank you guys so much. I hope that resonates with you. We've provided, we're giving you all the tools. Now, all you have to do is invest in it and do the work. That's it. Are you going to do that or not? One agent per market. So hopefully if your market's available, you can still snag it. Again, please write a review or a rating over on the Apple Podcast platform. It helps us out tremendously. And if you liked this episode with Krista Mashore or any other, please share it with a colleague, post it in a group, share it on your Instagram story, whatever. Any way that you can get other agents to know about this, we would appreciate it very much. And so would they. Guys, go sell some homes, go close some loans. Have a great freaking weekend. Take care.